Welcome back to the Creator Deal, where we talk about everything and anything related to the creator economy. I have a very special segment that I wanted to cover today. Number one, what brands look at when they're hiring for creators. Number two, why pitches get ignored so often, and what you can do to kind of fix that and make yourself more prominent, a more prominent figure in their business, and how you can portray their message and how you can promote their product or services. I'll be talking everything about that, so stay tuned. So let's talk first about what brands actually look at before saying yes. And this does depend on whether you're a UGC creator or if you're an influencer looking to create partnerships with all these brands. If you're a UGC creator, the number one thing that's important is number one, you need to have a well defined portfolio. Because without a portfolio, they have nothing to base it off of. How do you get all these new work if you don't have any followers, if you don't, you know, have all these different projects under your belt? Well, number one, you can start doing gifted collaborations. And this is where most creators start. Gifted collaborations are actually, obviously, you get certain products for free and you get to try them and you just get to make videos about them. But if you're able to create videos about those products, then you can use that as a part of your portfolio. Every single project that you have or is going to be using is going to be for your portfolio. So keep that in mind. The number one thing that's important when it comes down to creating these videos is, first of all, you need to have a well defined message around that product. If the product is a skincare product, then you better understand how their messaging system works, because at the end of the day, it's really important. Like, if you don't have the message and whatever the brand is looking for, and if you don't have that, well defined right off the bat, there's no point in all this. All the brands that are looking for creators, UGC creators, are those that can portray their message the best. And so, again, having a portfolio is probably going to be one of the most important things when creating, you know, the content for these brands. Another thing is influencer partnerships. So if you have some influencer, I mean, if you have some followers and some people follow you based off of some niche or whatever they might follow you for, something that's really important is how you can portray your audience and have them basically say yes to a product or service because they trust you so much. I've said this a lot in previous episodes, but the word influencer means you have the power to influence. So what brands are looking for is, can they borrow that part of influence? Because let's take the creator side out of it for now and let's look at the brand side for a little bit. If you're a company starting to build out, an audience, you're starting to build out, I guess, a customer list, what is the most important thing for those people? The most important thing is actually being able to have a product or service that is beneficial and that people will use in a repeatable manner. If you don't have that kind of product, maybe people will try it for the first time but not really buy it again or try it again. And so why this is really important, right? So when they're looking for creators, the number one thing that they're looking for is, can we work with them again in the future? Number two, how easy were they to work with? Because quite frankly, a lot of these brands, they're talking to hundreds and hundreds of creators. Because at the end of the day, what they're looking for is, how easy are they to work with? Because we might have future projects that we want you to be a part of. That's quite frankly, literally what happens. And so you want to leverage yourself as a point of contact whenever they have a new campaign or new product launching. Now, what does this cost? This is the most important figure of retainer clients. This is exactly where it comes in. Because when you have clients that are happy with your work, that are happy with how you communicate, they're happy with how fast you respond, you're not leaving them in the dark, you're not ghosting them, then when a new product or campaign comes up, they're going to want to work with you. And so when brands are trying to look for a creator, they're looking for that. Obviously, they can pay you the money. Obviously, they can hire another creator. But what makes you stand out as a premium creator? And now this goes for UGC, this goes for influencer partnerships as well. A little bit more different for influencer partnerships because maybe they are literally paying for your audience that you've built over the years. If you have hundreds and thousands of followers, or if you have a very good engagement rate, depending on what your niche is for your content, maybe that's something that they want to borrow, your audience for, and they'll pay you for that. And so maybe that's a little bit different. I think what a lot of creators fail to recognize is the fact that there are so many opportunities out there that is up for grabs, but they just don't know how to seize the opportunities. What do I mean by this? I think a lot of creators find that it's hard for them to find a brand deal or a paid brand deal because a lot of them are going to be gifted, or a lot of them are just going to be for barter collaborations, and so it's hard for some people to find that security when it comes down to paid brand deals. But I want to tell you that I think some of you guys might actually be looking in the wrong place. You guys have to understand that a lot of these brands are paying money to creators to make videos for them. Where do you think those videos are going? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, right? That's where all the videos are going. And so when you have those videos being published in those platforms, where should you look to see if a brand is investing in influencers? Those platforms. If you have a favorite influencer, or if you have a favorite creator that recently got sponsored by a particular brand that you really, really want to work with, well, number one, that's a go sign. You got to go contact them, because obviously they're spending money on creators because your favorite creator just got sponsored by them. This is what I mean. You guys need to use your own platforms as a method of looking for brands to work with. This actually goes the same way for brands as well. For a lot of the companies and brands, when they're looking for creators, you know what usually happens? They go to platforms and they find which creator had a viral moment or viral video, because they're wanting to pay for that virality. Crazy, huh? It's a double-edged sword. It goes both ways. It literally goes both ways in a way where creators are looking for brands that are sponsoring creators, and the brands are looking for creators that can create that viral moment. This is a crazy phenomenon, guys. This is so interesting because of the fact that there are so many different layers that people just don't understand. And so if I were to talk strictly business for a brief moment, when brands are recruiting for creators, some of them hire agencies. And the reason why they hire agencies in the first place is because agencies have a big list of creators that are well matched for their niche. And so what they do is they basically pay the influencer, and then the agencies are the ones kind of like recruiting and sourcing creators for them. The reason why they do that is because, number one, recruiting for creators is such a hard task. It's very time consuming. And for a lot of the brands and companies, it's just not worth it for them. It's not worth spending hundreds and thousands of hours of time trying to look for the best creator when they could just hire an agency to do that for them. That's number one. And so you guys got to understand that from all perspectives, the creator economy, the creator space is being more and more saturated with creators. And so it's your ability to stand out. When agencies are looking for creators to reach out to, number one, they're actually looking for speed. How fast can these creators respond? Do they get ignored in the DMs? Do they get ignored in the emails? All of that actually matters because speed is probably one of the most important things that brands are looking for. And they're basically paying agencies for that speed as well. And so I want to talk about why pitches get ignored so often. Imagine this, guys. If you guys ever worked in a 9 to 5 before and you got flooded with emails, now imagine for the influencer marketing managers that work at these big time brands and big time companies at, skincare brands or food brands or, you know, like the Hello Fishes of the world, the Meta Glasses of the world. Okay? Imagine the people that work there. They get cold pitched every single day, not just by creators, but also by agencies. That is a true fact. And the reason why your pitch is getting ignored so often is not because you have low following. It's not because, you have no views. It's the fact that your messaging is incorrect. When you're cold outreaching out to somebody, whether that's through LinkedIn, whether that's through DM, whether that's through email, the number one thing that you have to get right is your messaging. Because at the end of the day, if your messaging is not right, there's no point in all this. You shouldn't even reach out because they're just gonna look at it and be like, okay, and so what? I've gotten thousands of these already. Mind you, a lot of these influencer marketing managers, they do look at these emails, but they only look at it for like a quick, brief second, and that's all the time that they got for these emails to see if it's even worth their time. If it's not worth their time, it's not worth their money. And so a framework that I really like to use when reaching out to, influencer marketing managers or whatnot is, number one, you need to first tell them why you're reaching out in the first place. Make that message very clear. Hey, I want to create UGC video for your brand. Hey, I want to be an influencer partner with this brand. Make it super clear. Don't beat around the bush. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be like, hey, I'm looking for, a gifted collaborations, but at the same time, if it was paid, that would be great. Give me an opportunity. No, that's not good enough. You need to be very straightforward, very understanding of what they want and what they want to accomplish. And number one, you need to guess on what their goals are for the campaign, I guess, because that's super important. You need to understand what they're trying to achieve. If they have a new product that's launching, research that and be like, hey, I noticed that this cream is being launched next month. Could I be a part of the campaign because I believe I bring this value? You need to add the XYZ part after. If you just have, hey, I see that you're launching a new product next month. Can I just be a part of it? That's not enough. Give them a reason why. Hey, can I be a part of this campaign because I got really good views for this other company? I was able to garner, 10,000 followers ever since my last collaboration. XYZ. Add those little features on why they should work with you in the first place, and why working with you would be considered a success. So many pitches get ignored because all they want is a paid collaborations and they have nothing else to return to. They have no return on investment. These brands don't care if they work with you or not. They don't. They look at how much money can they make again by working with you as a creator. Right? That's what's important to them. You guys have to keep in mind that this is business. And so when it comes down to business, you got to treat your creator life as a business as well. And so I wanted to emphasize that by making your message very, very clear in your outreach, whether that's through DMs. And by the way, if you're not DMing or outreaching, you should most definitely be doing that as a creator. Because let me tell you right now, a lot of the brands are reaching out to creators as well. You just got to appear, I guess, like quote unquote delicious for them. And so what happens when there's an agreement with a brand and a creator? Okay. Here's the number one thing that happens. Number one, there's going to be a portion where it's going to be all contracting, the logistics, content briefs. But I want to, obviously, that's super important, but I want to kind of go into how you should prepare yourself after you kind of get that yes from a brand. So when you get a yes from a brand, a lot of different things can happen, and I've seen this happen to a lot of creators before. Number one, everything's smooth. They send you the content brief, they send you the contract, and everything looks good. You sign it, and you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. Number two is they say yes, and then there's nothing after that. Like they either ghost you, they don't send you the contract, they all of a sudden say there's no budget for this campaign anymore. It all depends, and it does depend on how you are able to position yourself. And again, speed is so important, guys, because the campaigns, they move really, really fast. Same with the brand side. Like if you think about their perspective, the reason why they respond so quickly, the reason why they, give out these offers so often is because they know creators getting booked. The top creators that create videos for brands, they're getting booked for projects. And the reason why they're getting booked in the first place is because they, number one, make really good videos. And number two, they probably have a retainer client that actually shows them results on the stuff. And so, all of that taken into consideration, what is the lesson of the story here? It's that you guys need to act with speed. And so if they do send a content brief, read it over, and literally if I could send an email 5 minutes after reading it, I would completely do that. Because think about it, they're already on their computers, they're working, they sent you an email, it's fresh in their mind, and you send an email back right away, that's a green light. But instead, if you wait a day, 2 days, 3 days, and then be like, oh my gosh, sorry for this late reply, no wonder you're not getting booked for these clients again. No wonder. Because it's super hard to work with creators that take super long. And that's just the brute facts. Like, that's just facts. it's it really is the facts, to be honest. I work with a bunch of different creators, and I act fast in my agency, but sometimes the creators in my database, they either have life stuff going on, they have whatever going on, and so a lot of the times it just doesn't work with speed. But what I do is I pressure them on a little bit faster, be like, hey, when can you get this done by? When can you get this done by? And the reason why that's important is because you want to be seen as a good light in front of these brands if you want to get rebooked. Most of your money does not come from new collaborations. It comes from reoccurring collaborations. It comes from, hey, can I work with this client again over and over again? Can I make 3 videos a month for them? Can I make 4 videos a month for them? That's where it's going to be the most difference. Okay? So keep that in mind when it comes down to working with companies in general. Because companies don't wait for you. And basically, if you're a creator, you're kind of like a contractor. Like put yourself in that mindset of you being like a contractor for these companies. Okay. Another segment that I wanted to go over today is protecting yourself from bad contracts. So I've seen this quite often. I'm an agency owner. I run an influencer marketing agency called True Karma, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of creators and actually thousands of brands. What I'm seeing is sometimes there's just a bad contract, a bad offer. If you know that your standard rate is, let's say, $500 for a video, please do not take collaborations where they're offering you $50 for a video. They're basically saying, hey, we understand that your standard rate is $500, but we're willing to pay you 10% of that. Like, number one, think about why you set your rate as $500 in the first place. Is it because a brand paid you $500 before? Is it because you believe that's what you're worth? Is that how many views that you're able to garner for every 1,000 views that you get? First of all, justify your rate. Justify it, and a proof of concept on how you know that your rate is actually working is if you have a lot of collaborations that are within that ballpark. Right? Not every single video is going to be $500, but I'm just saying, like, it needs to be within that ballpark, and that's really, really important, because that's going to be your greatest indicator when it comes down to working with these brands, companies in the future, because you know exactly what to rate yourself as. But now let's say that you're consistently getting booked for $500 a video, and that seems to be, I guess, like your standard rate. And then a brand comes in and be like, hey, would you be willing to create 15 videos a month for $50 a video? Those are, quite frankly, shit deals. Those really are. It's not worth your time to make videos for $50 a piece just because they promised you volume. It's not. Protect yourself from those rates, from those collaborations, and from my experience, it's hard to even negotiate with those, because they don't, number one, they don't have room for it. Number two, they don't understand the creator economy. Number three, like, they just don't understand what it takes to be a creator. And so if you're selling yourself short for the likeliness of hoping that you work with a brand because you really like them, I would think twice about that. I just don't think it's a good practice in your creative career to be taking on clients at a massive discount for no particular reason. Now let's say there's a really high-end brand, and this is like a dream company that you've been wanting to work with, and you wanted to create a relationship. Then maybe you can take those deals in hopes that you can create the relationship. Okay? But let me like preface this by saying, don't do this for every single brand, because it's just not worth it, especially if they're small and if they're willing to just, I don't want to take advantage of you, but in a sense, take advantage of the fact that you said yes to this. Because once you say yes to a small or bad collaboration, you're opening a can of worms for all the other ones to come in. That's unfortunately the truth. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. And so that's why agencies exist, right? Agencies are kind of like the translator of all that. They protect you from all these bad rates. They protect you from, the contract work, the legal work. They protect you from taking all these different opportunities at face value, how to negotiate, how to schedule, things like that. And that's why a lot of creators sign with agencies, is because they don't have the time to do all that. They don't have the time to negotiate. They don't have the time to do the behind the scenes stuff, but instead the agencies kind of come in and take place of that for you. And so do I see benefits in working with agencies? 100%. If you feel like you're getting a lot of emails from different brands, different companies, it might be a good opportunity for you to sign with agencies, because quite frankly, like, doing all the work behind the scenes when you could be doing all that work creating content is completely different. And so that's why I say it's really important for you to understand that it depends on your workload and how you like to manage things. And a lot of the creators, they like to keep in control a lot of the times, like their content, their pieces of content, how they like to form it, how they like to talk to brands. They want personal relationships. If that's you, that's totally fine. But I do see benefits in working with agencies if you do feel like you're getting flooded with all these different opportunities and inquiries. So I'll end with this. The most important thing as a creator is, number one, your adaptability, your ability to work with speed, your ability to create videos that are, you know, that can create viral moments. That's your job as a creator. Now, if you want to extend your job to being the negotiator, to being a contractor, to scheduling, and you like that stuff, maybe then you can go into pitching more and doing more outreach. But if you're not the type of person to like doing that stuff, or if you don't like, negotiating with brands, you don't know exactly what you're worth, then maybe working with agencies might be a good idea for you. And so this was another episode of the Creator Deal. I am super excited to talk more about these stuff because I do think there's value in bringing these topics up, up for grabs, because quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people talk about it. But I'm not afraid. I love talking about this stuff. Thank you so much for listening to the Creator Deal. Listen back next Monday. We might have a special guest. So thank you guys so much for listening. This was an opportunity of a lifetime. Love it. Love listening. I will see you guys and talk to you guys next week.